It's gonna be the last of the 2024 vouchers. One more after this. All right.
I don't know if you can look long enough to figure out what.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Matt Crowdy.
Oh, I bet it is.
There she is. How's Jacqueline?
Wouldn't miss it for the world.
I hope not.
Oh, good. There was like a lot of like about.
This is the place to be.
Like a second and fourth Tuesday. I know there was a long.
Please. A lot of gowns, yeah.
Shelley,
Yes, ma'am.
Vince is joining us on, okay. you-
Online, okay.
Thank you.
That'll be me almost also.
Oh, online.
Yeah.
Oh.
I thought you wanted to. I have, this is my stuff. Will you? So, study breath.
The meeting of Cheney City Council will come to order, and let us stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance. to the flag
Of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Councilman Schmidt. Let's see. Where's my agenda? Roll call
Honorable Mayor Pro Tem Overhauser,
here.
Councilmember Schmidt,
Present.
Councilmember Bartels,
Present.
Councilmember Bealock,
Here.
Councilmember Nazaro,
Present.
Councilmember Labar,
Present.
Councilmember Pashma.
Present.
Thank you very much. And thank you for all the sick people who've decided to call in and do it rather than come here. I really appreciate that, just saying. We've got, now is the time for public comment. And we've got 3 individuals who have signed up, and then we may have people electronically who would like to speak. The first person I have is Dana Greenwood. Would you like to come up and share with us what you're interested in?
Yeah, before I speak, I have a video that I would like you to
Okay.
see so that you can understand what I'm talking about.
Sure.
This is First Street going north. And then what you should be seeing by now is the island across from grocery outlet, but you will notice that you're really not going to notice it until it's right next to you, right there. All of those reflective things are not reflecting. If you have snow over that, you can't see it at all. And I was nearly in an accident last week, which is what my motivation is to coming here, where someone who was going north, I was going south, and they wound up in my lane less than a car length. If I had not had a free lane next to me, I would have been in a head-on collision. I've been irritated with that thing for a really long time, thinking somebody's going to ruin their car. But then I realized, no, somebody's going to die or be seriously injured. Before I retired, I was a safety person. So my professional recommendation is that we put new reflective things on there and also reflective paint around it so that it's visible. The one up near Betts isn't much better, but at least it has a lighted area. And I don't think you noticed the crosswalk at all. So that crosswalk area really needs to be lighted. I think I'm within my 2 minutes, so.
Yeah, no, thank you. That is a state route. And so we
I've been
don't-
in contact with the state already.
Cool. And
Um,
Todd, our public works guy, has been working on them on several improvements, including an additional crosswalk further back or closer to, say, Yokes,
okay.
back that direction. Anyway, and so, he is working on a number of these things. And so it's valuable for us to have that input so that he can continue. And it's valuable for you to communicate with him too,
Yes.
which reinforces our staff's efforts.
Yeah, I tried to get a lot of people on the, next door to come,
Mhm.
and somebody had said that this is really a state issue. So I contacted them, and they've already contacted me back to find out where it is.
Good.
But I just wanted to make sure that we as an entity, as a city, we're also following up on that.
Yes,
too.
and never hesitate to contact Todd if you'd like to find out what the progress is or, what he's might have heard or what other, like I say, there are some additional improvements along that strip that, including not ever reaching 45 miles an hour, but which is what we'd like to have happen
Yeah.
within our city limits. But anyway, so yeah, it is an area of our concern also. I appreciate your.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anne Van Wig. I hope I said your name right.
Yep, no,
Okay,
it's perfect.
Thank you.
So I'm Anne Van Wig and I live here within city limits and I'm here with Dana, but also to talk about a couple other things. One, I actually put in a call last year twice to say somebody needs to put some reflective tape on this island because it really is dangerous. I've seen people skim it and hit it on the side and swerve back in. And so that's one, but also down by Yokes, that other piece, it was fixed at one point and now it's got that same kind of island. I saw somebody hit that last week. And so I'm here to say, yes, I agree. And it's not just the tape, it's people turning left from Taco Bell there at the end of that, because I don't think they realize that that the person who's in that little turn lane has the right of way. And so I'll have people turn in front of me making a left as I'm making a left. So that's one of it. And yes, I would encourage, even if we could just put some tape up. I called twice, like I said last year, and they're like, oh yeah, we're taking care of it, not realizing it was a state issue because I'm still kind of new, 8 years as opposed to other people. But anyway, that. And I want to say, so that's one issue. But one thing I want to say is thank you so much for the community garden. Since we have lived here, we're part of it and love the community. And I think it's wonderful that Cheney supports that. I tell people about it and they're like, how do you get in? I'm like, wait till somebody dies. I hate to say that. You get a spot, right? And so, or till somebody moves. Let's say that instead, till we move. So I wanted to say that. And also we're excited for the pool to open. So my recommendation is we have lived in places that have done something like Cheney and they have done fabulous discounts for the residents because we are living here, we are paying within the city limits. And so that would be my other recommendation. Look what you can do for supporting folks from in town. So thank you very much.
And Brenda Holder.
Hi, I am a Cheney resident in the city limits. I've been a resident since 1979. I wanted to comment on a couple of things. First of all, I did almost have an accident because of the invisible island, but that's not why I'm here today. I'm not quite sure how long ago the city decided to contract the scraps for animal control. I do want to say that I am on the board for Partners for Pets in Spokane, and I also have a Facebook group called Cheney Feral Cats. So I'm very involved in animals and such around the Cheney area. I've probably trapped, neutered, and returned, 200 cats in Cheney. I've probably gotten 150 other cats into homes that were homeless. Last week I had 2 cats killed on my property by a dog. And it was definitely a dog, not a coyote. A coyote would eat in the carcass. This particular dog has been running free and there has been complaints to Scraps about this dog. It has not been enforced. Being that I did not witness the murder or have film on it, Scraps is not going to do much about it. They took a report, they gave me a report number and then proceeded to tell me about how understaffed they are. For those of you that do not know, Scraps is 35 miles away. I have seen and heard numerous reports of people trying to walk their dogs, getting attacked by other dogs while they're trying to walk their dogs. People upset that there's landmines in their yards from dogs running. There is absolutely no reason not to go ahead and let your dogs come home from work and let your dogs run. And that's what people are doing. It used to be that if you saw a dog out, you knew that it was an accident that they were out. You'd find out their caller number and you'd call the police department and say, hey, listen, I don't want to get anybody in trouble. I just want to get this dog back. And they would say, give me your phone number. And they would give the phone number to the other person. They'd call you and we, get back together. But we have people that are constantly letting their dogs run in town and nothing is happening about it. And I think it's ruining the quality of life in Cheney. I really do. I realize that, nothing I say today is probably gonna, bring that back. It was probably a fiscal, decision. I also noticed that when I tried to report this, that now we're doing crime check, which is also another Spokane type of thing. And I think that that's really also it's ruining the whole town, the small town feel. If, that was appropriate for, hey, I see something right now and it seems suspicious to me. It's not a 911 call, but I can call in and I can tell somebody about it. And maybe it lines up with a crime that's going on or that has gone on. We can no longer do that. I was directed to do an online report, which does nothing. I will give you an example. One time I was driving down First Street. It was nowhere near Halloween. And there was a gentleman on a bicycle with one of those scary pull-on hoods, full face, that you see in the horror movies. He was acting very suspiciously and looking back and such. And, so I was able to call that in immediately. At the time I was told that there was nothing going on and maybe they found out 2 minutes later there was, and maybe they didn't, I don't know. But we were able to be the eyes and ears for our officers. As far as I'm concerned, our police officers are what makes Cheney what it is. We have a fabulous police department. And we're lucky from the standpoint that it's 3-4 minutes away, a cop, if you live in town, just the size of our town. But I see so many of these things diminishing. And I think that, if we wanted to live in Spokane, most of us would move there. And I just think that making the decisions that, hey, this is going to save us a little money, let's adopt another Spokane policy, is the wrong way to go for this town. And I'd like to thank you.
Okay. Minutes. Oh, excuse me. Anyone who is else in the audience who did not sign up, who may want to speak? Is there anyone online who would like to make any comments? Last call? All right, we are done with public comments. Thank you. Minutes of the last meeting? Did we look at them? Did we want to say anything about them?
I'll move to approve.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
I'll move to approve the special.
I'm sorry.
Meeting as well.
Second.
Minutes.
Thank you.
The motion is second
Another
here.
page. We've got a motion and a second. Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Vouchers and payroll.
We still are looking at 2024 vouchers in addition to 2025. So our 2024 are $77,203.02. 2025 expenditures are $1,981,627.15. Our interdepartmental billing for utilities is $31,549.96 for a total of $2,013,177.11. And payroll for January was $1,199,811.81.
Your Honor, the finance committee reviewed these expenditures and I'll move for the approval of the 2024 vouchers as stated.
Second.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Aye.
How about 2025?
And Your Honor, the 2025 vouchers, I'll move to approve as stated along with the payroll.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We had one claim for damages.
Again, Your Honor, the Finance Committee reviewed this. There's some questions as far as ownership and also as far as proper. Oh, yeah, so we make a motion to deny the claim.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Or do we have questions?
Yeah.
You want to have questions?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
We're not briefed on this at all.
Oh, I'm
so,
sorry.
Yeah.
So there was, the police chief might be able to help me here. Just, I'm sorry, I thought as part of the finance packet, what you got, it was attached.
Yeah,
So,
the very end of the finance packet.
right. So
But when
anyway,
you only get 2 days to review everything, it gets to be a little tough.
okay,
Some stuff gets slipped. I
sorry.
think.
Yeah, sorry. So a gentleman, there was car that has been sitting out for an extended period of time. It had debris over it, dirt under the tire, you know, it had not been moved, obviously, for quite some time. Police chief had written a report about it indicating that it hadn't been licensed since November of 2022. And so, you know, we don't know if it was moved after that or before, you know, since then, but that is a point in time that might be an important reference. The person who had possession of it wasn't his vehicle, it was a family member's vehicle. And anyway, so the vehicle was towed, as we do in Cheney with what appeared to be abandoned cars. There was some effort to do some communication with the owner, but the person who actually was in possession of it did not get notice until after the fact. And so it was towed and he ended up, there was so many fees associated with the towing and the storage of it that he ended up turning the vehicle over in exchange for the fees, but is still asking for this amount back as part of his costs.
It's his grandma's car. He was a college student. And as far as reading the report, no like reasonable efforts at contact were made with the resident or the vehicle owner itself. So,
Again, we base it on,
but the RCW says 45 days of expired tabs and parked there for over 24 hours. We can tell.
Also, there is some question about, this person is not the owner of the vehicle, they don't have any right to claim any of these costs.
Their grandmother should be filing for
Right.
damages. on
So there's a number of issues associated with paying
this
this.
is documentation as far as how did we get to $999.99.
Yeah. My only real concern with this is if we could make a stronger effort to post our policies on the website so that our police policies for these things, so they can know if they're supposed to even be given a notification or anything like that. But it's really difficult if you're in this situation. I've had this happen to me. It's kind of rough. And if you can't look up what the rules are, and I mean, we are a college town. A lot of people aren't going to necessarily have their own vehicles here. So just making sure that we're transparent with our policy and how we enforce it would be really beneficial moving forward to prevent stuff like this from happening in the future.
I agree.
Just as anyone can file a claim against the city. Now, if we deny it, then they can then move to lawsuit.
Mhm.
So if they feel they've been harmed or damaged, then they have that as well, so.
But it's not even the gentleman's car.
That's as we understood the memo from the chief.
Okay.
And his report.
Yeah, the emails back and forth. The guy specifies, I believe, his grandmother's.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. when it's in the finance packet, I always thought you all got it, but I wasn't really sure.
Oh,
so I
we
apologize.
definitely get the packets, but we get it Friday evening and then we have to be well versed on this stuff by 6 o'clock on Tuesday, so it can be kind of tough for people.
Okay. Any other comments or questions? Vince, you good? Okay,
Yes, I'm good. Thank you.
okay. So we have a motion and a second, I heard. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. You see the small contracts that the mayor has signed. We have no information items, no appointments, and we'll head on to the action items. We'll open a public hearing. No public hearings, I'm sorry. We'll open the discussion on the SRTC acceptance of funding agreement. Thank you.
Hearing, yeah.
No, it's
Yep.
the way it's written. It sort of looks like it's
Oh.
public hearing. I apologize.
Yeah, this is basically the acceptance of funding agreement for the SRTC grant. We've been working on this for a while and it is part of the basically the initiative to reduce electric vehicle purchase. And so the city is allocated a certain percentage of this type of funding. And it fit in with starting to replace our gas fleet with electric vehicles. So this is a funding agreement in there. This will purchase 4 Ford Lightnings, 1 Mach-E, 2 of the basically what we call them the Polaris all electric vehicles. And then also it'll be constructing a solar canopy for charging. And happy to answer any questions.
I just had a quick question. I know we've talked a lot about the power grid and the pull from electric vehicles. Does the solar canopy offset that? Or will it help offset that?
Yeah, we're hoping to get, I mean, these vehicles won't travel a lot of miles because we're really in town. And I don't see us hooking anything, higher, but 220 is usually your quick charge. But if they sit overnight, just a 110, and most of them will be sitting under the canopy. And so hopefully we'll have a little bit of charge there. So too early to tell exactly what that cost is, but obviously we'll be saving a lot of fuel time too.
And this came from last year when it was Cheney, the way the funding works, we were the only entity eligible for this carbon reduction money. And this was easily qualified for that, so. Looks like they kind of moved some money around, about $8,000 less, something like that.
Yeah, I think they had some conflicts between purchasing vehicles, and so they dumped some of the money and reused some of the money into the solar canopy itself. Yep.
So we're still green for go.
Green for go, obviously, the Green Initiative for Washington State, they are going to hold us to a certain percentage of electric vehicles. And so that this will kind of meet kind of our goal heading in that direction.
Any questions for Todd?
Just one quick, so can you tell us again, it was 4 Ford Lightnings, 2 Polaris and something else?
Oh, Mach-E.
A Mach-E.
It's just, it's the electric vehicle at I think it's a Mustang.
Okay, great.
There's nothing further. I'll move for the approval of resolution F-335.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. And now, more Todd. Resolution F-336, Mary Street vacation.
Yeah, this is just to set the public hearing date, which I am proposing to schedule this on March 11th. Actually, we set the public hearing date for no less than 20 days and no more than 60 days according to our CW. So proposing to set this date for March 11th, and that is for the vacation of Mary Street. It was basically the southeast side of 904, right behind the F&M Center. There's a small section of Mary Street and a little bit of feathering of right-of-way that kind of connects Mary Street. And so we will hold a public hearing. We will post it. We'll hold a public hearing on March 11th.
Does anyone have questions?
What is it exactly you guys are trying to do at that spot?
It's a vacation. In other words, the city has it as a right of way. We'll have a public hearing. The owner has come in, or actually the owner around the property has petitioned to vacate that street network. We don't, it's not an actual street. It's just land that's been never developed. So we do have right of way vacations, whether we reduce a right of way or completely eliminate a right of way because we don't have any use for it. This particular section of Mary Street, if you come down on Mary Street, on 904, if you go over that giant hill, there's a small section of Mary Street that was platted years ago on that section, so.
Thank you.
Just to confirm location, this is by like Collins Dentistry
Yeah.
area, correct? Okay, just want to make sure I'm reading the right map.
This is a very scripted process. So all we're doing tonight is setting a hearing date. We're not committed to do anything. But it's a process if we find that the property is surplus, that we have no need for it, and it would help economic development. Those are some things we take into consideration.
Right.
So all this is, we have to have a public hearing set to start the process.
The adjacent owners and as well as broader community may have interest in expressing for or against. So that would be all we're setting up tonight. Does he have some plans, right? He sort of has some conceptual plans for.
That is correct. I mean, obviously, he did buy the section of property directly behind F&M and including, property on both sides of the vacated, the request for the vacation of Mary Street, for, development.
Okay, yeah.
Thank you.
That was part of my question too, but just for the sake on the map, are we vacating the yellow? All
Yeah,
of the yellow?
Yep, there's a yellow or DOT has basically given us additional right of way when they reduced it years ago.
Mhm.
And for some funky reason also, there's a little pink or red triangle.
Yeah, what's that part?
They just gave us a parcel, a little, I think it's a 800 square foot or maybe less section of parcel to the city. They usually do that every once in a while and we didn't know exists. So it's just been identified. That is not part of the vacation process because that's an actual parcel. And so that could possibly go through basically a surplus process
Okay,
within that area.
so we own the pink section
The pink and the yellow.
and the yellow.
Yep.
And in the vacation process, are we planning to sell this to him or?
It would be a market value that
Okay.
would have to be purchased on that.
Great,
That all comes forward during the hearing.
during the
process.
hearings.
And there's no decision till after the hearing.
Yeah.
Then we can decide what to do.
And there's no future plans for a street to go through there for any reason.
That I'm aware of.
Okay,
It butts right to the railroad track.
yeah.
Everybody, Vince, how are you doing? You have a question?
Nope, no question.
Okay, thank you.
Your Honor, if there are no further questions or comments, I would make a motion that we approve F336.
Second,
We have a motion and many seconds. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. We may make it through this yet. Staff reports.
Just very quickly, the legislative session is in full swing. Next week is the cutoff date for bills to make it out of their committee of origin. That's not set in stone, but that's generally the cutoff. There's always some surprises later. But we also will have Mayor Grover over to meet with some of our legislators middle of next week to kind of talk about Cheney and advocate for our needs. So,
All right.
great thing for us. That's it.
Thank you. So the division heads get to slide tonight, huh?
Unless somebody has something they want to really.
No, thank you. Nothing from the mayor's report. Mr. Schmidt.
Yes, thank you. Public Works Committee meeting Thursday morning and Ms. LeBar has been so gracious to take my place. I'll be out of town. I should be an agenda out here soon, but that's all I have. I hope you're healed up by then, Vince.
Yes, I should be healed up by then. Thank you,
Okay.
Paul, and I will see Danielle and Mark Thursday morning. Thank you.
You have anything else to add, Vince?
Nope, that's it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I got the opioid abatement committee tomorrow. So you'll hear about that at the next meeting.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah, no reports from me. I was actually hoping for an update on the payroll frequency switch. I know we voted on that, November?
We're negotiating.
Okay.
Confirmed.
I didn't have- Yes, to you.
I have anything tonight.
The only thing for me would be, we also had talked about as a council, trying to get together on some budget items, having a retreat for that. Just wondering how that progress is going as well. Dates in March. Sounds great. Thanks.
Right. What comes after that?
Move to adjourn.
Second.
A motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Hi.
Have a good evening.
Thank you. Thank you for coming, everyone.